Hi everyone, welcome to a special show looking back at 15 years of my accordion playing career. I started playing the accordion at 14 years old after attending the West Barnes Inn Sunday Scotch night, where I was hooked immediately after hearing David Patrick and Alistair Lane playing. The one request that stands out as I remember was to play the Dam Busters. Not long after being at the West Barnes Sunday Scotch night, an accordion was brought home from my mum's work, and the challenge was to play the Dark Island before Christmas. And I've never looked back ever since. I soon went to lessons from John Leslie in Dunbar at the age of 14, a fantastic music teacher who I owe a lot to. John taught many great musicians like Marian Anderson, Sandy Leggett, Ian Hudson and Robin Hamilton. Robin was also a great member of the West Barnes Inn Sunday Scotch night and also the Accordion and Fiddle Club. We go back to the beginning to look at my first experience of live playing, which was in the inn. Sadly, there are no longer any more Scotch nights since the pub flooded a few years ago, but memories live on, and that's what we look at on this show. We go back now to West Barnes Inn when I was just 15 years old in 2006, playing a Virginia reel along with Alistair Lane on second box. Regular musicians always came down to the West Barnes Inn and joined in for the sessions. Ronnie Johnston, Mel McLaren, the late Bill Crookston, Tam Rankin, Davy Connor and many more. So I hope you enjoy this delve into the archives, as we call it, and our first clip on today's show, the Virginia reel.
Station. No, I have
The National Association of Accordion and Fiddle Clubs has played a big part in my musical career over the last 15 years. I remember well playing at my first accordion and fiddle club in Duns, along with Alistair, Tam and Robin. This was held in the Royal British Legion, which is next door to the Big Hall, which many of you will be familiar with if you go to Scottish country dancing. Following on from Duns Accordion and Fiddle Club, the bookings came in, and then we got to travel to my hometown in Coldingham. That was the second club that I attended. Although it being in my own hometown, Coldingham Club was fairly new and lasted a few years. Following that, the other accordion and fiddle clubs started coming along. We went to Glendale, which was in Wooler, Kelso in the Scottish borders, and then after that things started growing and we ended up going all over the country, which I have to say has been one of the highlights of the career, is driving to all these venues and accordion and fiddle clubs and getting to see the beautiful scenery that's on offer. And we've got a lot of pictures as well that you can enjoy and look at some of our club excerpts. We've also got some pictures and some articles which you can have a wee quick flash at as you enjoy these videos, which take me back and give me lots of good memories.
We're going to continue on, this time with a German continental polka, and this one's called Pygmies Polka.
let you off. Just this once. Right, continue on a wee set of reels here, just once each. Petronella, and then 3 tunes by Sir Johnny Shank, the Firehouse Reel, Working Scout, and The Wandering Drummer. And The Wandering Drummer.
Continue on now with a set of Gaelic waltzes. Normally I usually find a set to play at an accordion club that I just can't pronounce at all. So I've managed to find a set that's got English in it. So the first tune's called The Melody of Love, followed by Leaving Glasgow, The Mist Covers Mountains, and what's that sign band? Shinnaban or something like that. Sounds like the car blowing up or something. Yeah. Here's a set of Gaelic waltzes for you.
Following on from the accordion and fiddle clubs, the dancing soon began. There was a lot of dances held locally in the Scottish borders, including Fulden, Hutton and Reston. And I started off playing these big dances along with Tam on the drums, and we went along to play for dances in Fulden Village Hall. And I remember playing for Rosemary and Dudley's charity dance Well, raising money for the Great North Air Ambulance. Not long after that, more dances came in and we went further afield. Greenlaw had a Masonic lodge with a dance which was held every Saturday night. Sadly, Greenlaw dances are no longer on. But then, not long after that, other dance clubs got involved and we started travelling further. And over time, we played in venues still running regular weekly dances, Largo Ward, with a great, lovely contingent of dancers who are always open for more. At the beginning, it was predominantly Ceilidh and old-time dancing, and the first class that I went along to was my Auntie Anne's dance class at East Linton. This is where Davy Patrick played, along with many other musicians, Davy Sturgeon, George King, Dod Hutchison. The first night I remember well, as I went along with David to sit behind him and watch what he'd done. And he would say, now watch this, and watch that, and take notes here, and take notes there. And one key piece of advice that Davy gave me that night was you always play for your dancers and what they want, and you always watch their feet, and it stood me well. At first I wasn't too keen on Royal Scottish Country dancing, and it took me a bit of confidence to get into the swing of things. Andy Kane from Shetland, formerly of Newcastle, phoned me one night, and he said, are you free on the 5th of December? To my answer, yes. What is it? A country dance. And I panicked, and Andrew says, don't you worry. He says, well, come down. And Andy Kane came down and he had a practice with me, went over all the sets, we went down to Newcastle, and after that, and the encouragement from Bill Ewan thereafter, country dancing has now turned very busy, which is lovely. It's a great society, it's full of dancers, it's full of great music, and a lot of adventures can be had, summer schools, winter schools, going abroad, and I would highly recommend looking into it. So we now look at some of our dances, starting off with a great dance which was ran by Jessie Stewart for many years up in Dufftown in the Memorial Hall. This was a highlight of any band musician's career. Such a lovely hall to play in, full of dancers, and when you do an 8-some reel in there, it's an 8-some reel. We then take a trip further north up to Lewis and Harris, where we were privileged to be asked to go for 2 nights to play for the Accordion and Fiddle Club, followed by a night dancing in Harris. And then we look at some of our local border dances. So if you're watching, get your dancing shoes on and join in. Off to the dancing. Well, after all that dancing, I think you'll all be ready for a seat to listen to some more great music, but also some songs. Over the past 15 years, I've been very lucky to make a number of CDs, with my first CD being Perfect Timing. After securing a loan from the Prince's Trust, I then approached Derek Hamilton, and this would be our first meeting. Derek recorded thereafter my first and second CD and some more recent ones. Perfect Timing was with John Leslie, my accordion teacher, Robin Hamilton, Tam Rankin, Ian Anderson, and it was to thank them for all their help in getting me started and up and running in my musical career. Since then, we've had more CDs. First Class Delivery was when I worked with Royal Mail. Fine Tuning was when Dad took a lovely hacksaw to make something fit in one of my accordions. We had Inspiring Memories, which was in memory of Davy Patrick, with all his favourite tunes, sets that Davy would play. We've had Toast to the Dancers to say thank you to all the dancers. The Grove Collection of Scottish Country Dances, Volume 1. And then, in 2020, we've had the Lockdown Collection begin, with the Scottish Lockdown and an Easy Listening Lockdown, and I'm sure there'll be more CDs to come from that collection. It's always great when you're able to have a CD launch, and over the past years we've had great friends to come along and help compare. John Caskey, MBE, from Dumfries, the late Bobby Congan of McMurray, who's sadly missed, and Ian Lees from Dundee. Having a compere really does help these afternoons run smoothly, and it allows us as musicians to prepare ourselves for our next set of music that we're going to play. So sit back and relax, and if you wait patiently, you might even get a wee song.
You all to the West Barns Inn. My name is John Caskey. I'm across from Dumfries today at the request of Ewan, because he couldn't get anybody else, he says. But it's nice to see you all, and we hope we're going to have a nice afternoon. So it's nice to see you all coming along for a very special day. It's the launch of a CD that Ewan Galloway has produced, Inspiring Memories. And those inspiring memories, the memories of David Patrick. Now, I confess that Al never met David a couple of times, and a great guy he was, and I know many of you will have better memories than I have of David, but the wisdom and the inspiration that David had shone through to young Ewan here and made him pick up the accordion and get it strapped on and get learning and playing, and now becoming one of the young talents, the length and breadth of Scotland. His musical talent, his abilities, already crossing many bridges, and his enthusiasm shown today with the great support that you've given to him and the band. So they're going to play one or two sets of the CD just to get you in the mood, and hopefully you'll get your wallet suit and purchase it, and if you've already bought it, well, buy another in as the day goes on. And I'm just getting to the stage that I need glasses to read this. On stage adjoining Ewan, we have in second box Alistair Lane, Graham Cairns is on banjo, and Tam Rankin is on the drums, and guesting for the band today on piano all the way from Galston in Ayrshire, and he doesn't brag about it, mind, but all the way from Galston in Ayrshire is Derek Hamilton. So to get our afternoon underway, come on, give a big welcome on stage, Ewan Galloway and Scottish Dance Band. Give it a go. Now when the sun has gone down in the dark western island, the work is all done for a while. Then we'll gather together, whatever the weather, we'll ride to the dancing in Kyle. Oh, that's Mary and Duncan, Morag and Callum, Flora and Kenna and Dawn, and the driving from Dorney, Glenelg and Killiman, laughing as we race along. Now Rory will sing o' the beauties of Filey, Seamus of Stornoway's Isles. Then the finest of dancers will show us the Lancers the next time there's dancing in Kyle. There's a swivel o' the kilt and a skiddle o' the pipes and a lilting accordion band. And it's off for the Exum and off for the Chick, and the dashing white sergeant is grand. Soon the dawn will be showing, the great mountains glowing, and we must drive many a mile. But we'll leave Inverany and Ardell and Dorney the next time there's dancing in Kyle. Then we'll arm and we'll swing and we'll young and we'll sing, and we'll say to our partners in style, for there's nothing so grand in the whole of this land as to go to the dancing in Kyle. Yes, we'll arm and we'll swing and we'll young and we'll sing, and we'll say to our partners in style, for there's nothing so grand in the whole of this land as to go to the dancing in Kyle.
Mr. Bobby Colgan.
Thank you very much, Ewan. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you know what we're here for initially is to launch Ewan's 4th CD. But along with that, we're here to enjoy yourselves and let your hair down and really let yourself go. Well, some of you. Anyway, it's my pleasure to introduce one of the up-and-coming bands in Scotland today. One of the best bands in Scotland today. Ladies and gentlemen, would you like to put your hands together, please, for Ewan Galloway and his Scottish Dance Band. favourite of mine. It's called All Meal Null, and it's simply because I love all the listeners. Come on, lads, as usual. All the horse are in the stable, and the guy are in the wire, and the hardest work is over, and we all float round the fire. I is given to the heaven, he is there, a hint the hill, just to see a bonny lassie by the old mill She's got in like cranberries, she's got cheeks like mountain horns, her lips are red as cherries, she's the modest blue and blondes. I lie weary on the mountain, and I like to quake the drill, just to see the bonny lassie by the old mill Oh, the old folk sometimes wonder what can keep me so late. They never can to sleep until they hear me take the gate. But the old man, he loses, and he sees me tack the helm, and I've been to see my lassie by the old mill now. And I've been to see my lassie by the old mill now.
Let me introduce them individually. First of all, on piano from Markins, Bill Ewan. Captain Youngblood from Cooper, it's Kyle Innes on drums. Our good friend Derek Hamilton on second accordion and vocals tonight. And Andrew Knight on fiddle. And leading the motley crew, what's your name again? Ewan Galloway! A lovely set here. 3 tunes. The first one written by Phil Cunningham, it's Belmer's Waltz. Then one from the pen of Keith Dixon, Sandy and Helen Gardner's Golden Wedding Waltz. And finally back to the pen of Phil Cunningham, The Youngest Asian Mariner, Ewan in the band. on the new CD. You all enjoying yourselves so far? Yes. Are you sure? Yes. I'll tell you what, it's rather nice to see so many senior citizens in this afternoon. Because you know, there's a lot of old folk, and particularly in Dundee where I come from, they're scared to go out at all. There's an old couple living next door to me, haven't been living together for the past 12 years. Until last night, he said to her, Bess, she said, what? There's a good conversation there. What? He says, come on, we'll do something different tonight. Oh, she says, oh, what will we do? He said, swap chairs. It's nice to feel wanted. How does an unwanted child? You fall for that every time, don't you? I was the youngest of 8 children, and all 8 of us slept in the one bed. 5 of them were bedwetters. I was a good swimmer. But the trouble was in the old days, you know, the youngest, you never got new clothes of your own at Christmas. You always got hand-me-downs. That was the problem because the other 7 were lassies. When I was 14, I went to school and found out I was wearing the same dress as the teacher. And he wasn't pleased about that either.
If you enjoyed any of those CD recordings, then you can get a hold of your CDs at www.ewangalloway.co.uk, where we have a shop and all CDs are on sale there. We now come to a selection in the show where it's some extra music. And the extra music, the first track is a tune that I wrote myself for my dad. It was called My Father's Peat Glens. Dad likes a good Lafroig, but he also likes walking Harley the dog up by a river, and he calls that his glens. When we were up in Harris, playing for the dance, we went to a lovely beach called Luskintyre. And this beach had a feeling like no other, and I couldn't help but take the accordion across the dunes onto the beach and record Dad's tune. Composing is something that's happened over the years, with my first tune ever written called David Patrick's Polka. Since then, around 50 compositions have been done, and hopefully a book will be in the pipeline. Our second half of the extra video features the virtual side of things which happened in 2020. Due to the restrictions and the pandemic that was in place, it gave musicians a great opportunity to use online platforms, to form their own videos, play as their own virtual bands and do online shows. We look back at some of the clips and videos in the second half. As the saying goes, all things good have to come to an end. And sadly, this brings us to our last section on today's video. I'd like to make special thanks at this point to all the musicians involved in my musical career over the last 15 years. Without the help of you, I couldn't have done it myself. Also, I'd like to thank Elizabeth Morrison for the great footage of this dramash we're about to see at the end, along with the footage from the Shetland Grand Dance. Susan Power for the great video of Edinburgh Princes Street Gardens in the realm of the Royal Scots. A great platform to play in with the stunning Edinburgh Castle behind you. But mostly to Douglas Gray for all his work over the last 15 years, volunteering to come along to my gigs and dances and recordings and spend his afternoons recording and converting these into videos and DVDs. Also, the very first video you've seen tonight when I was 15 years old, and Douglas managed to get that back into digitalisation from an old camcorder cassette. Douglas, I thank you, because without these videos, we wouldn't have these memories to look back on and enjoy ourselves and think of everyone in these videos. We have lost friends, we have lost musicians, but this gives us an opportunity and time to reflect and think of the good times. So moving forward into the next year, I wish you all a very safe year, a very positive year, and keep supporting the music and stay happy, and the music will keep you going. Thank you very much for watching, and all the best till I see you again.
Was a trip, oh my sugar's in margin and blue fine below. The captain's born in love with your belly button, and they didn't come to the baby home. Funny funny lass, and the hour of wonderland. The funny lass in the Gallio. The funny chick played a tune at the day. All of all is I've never had a better one than David Fontaine. And with you, but Johnny lad, I'll dance the buckles off my shoe with you. My Johnny lad.
very much. 3 cheers for the musicians. Hip hip! Hip hip! Hip hip! Thanks very much, and hopefully we'll see you again for another afternoon of great music. Thanks one and all. Thanks again. Have a safe journey home.
And just before you go, I think you should say a special thank you to the one and only Ewan Galloway for putting it all together. Ewan!